Runick Sprite tips the scales out of this YCS, and actually one of the coolest feats that I've seen in a long time, and people are still laughing at tier elements and not being able to get a win. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We're going to be looking at your top 64 breakdown here, top 8, and just kind of talking about the overall course of the tournament here. So, top cut, highest represented deck at 30% was Runick and Sprite. So this is that big rank 2 deck that, you know, uses the ability to search for the field spell off of Hugin and putting a fusion monster on the field so you get access to Gigantic Sprite, along with the rest of the combo potential that really rises behind that deck. We had 13% tier elements in the top cut. I'm not really surprised about that. I mean, every regional that we've looked at, we saw so much tier elements, but I guess like these bigger tournaments, tier just ends up not being like this consistent powerhouse, which is kind of interesting. We had 9 pure Sprite. Now let's not get that, you know, mixed up here. It's going to be your pure Sprite variants. You know, you had Runick and Sprite, you had regular Sprite, and then over here at the other 8%, you have Live Twin Sprite. So out of all of these Sprite decks that are going on right now, it's basically Sprite and Friends, the deck, but that's a 39-47%, you know, Runick level of participation here. You know, it's kind of interesting there. We had 8% for Flaunderies. Once again, Flounder still being that normal contestant that we've all kind of known to love and see. I mean, it's a mainstay at this point in time. If you're entering a tournament right now and you're like, oh, you know, there's not going to be any Flounder, yeah, the deck is consistently still doing its thing. It's one of the coolest oddball decks in the format. We also had 6% back here with Mathmech. Now, Mathmech still continues to hold on as well. I think Mathmech being one of the coolest decks you can also kind of pick up right out of the box and have the chance to work with is actually quite phenomenal. Now, there's 26% here in the other category. We're going to go ahead and look at the post for this. So the other decks include the following. There was one Rika deck that did make it into Top Cut, which is quite nice, actually. I do think that seeing plants still getting love right now in the course of the Top Cuts is absolutely amazing. We also had a Threon tier elements. I've seen very early builds of some players that were testing that, but that's interesting. We also had a branded tier element, so that's going to be your Albaz fusion good stuff, where, you know, you get access to Mirror Jade, you know, Despia package. It's pretty straightforward. We also had a Danger tier elements deck in Top Cut, so that's the more basic build that a lot of people are used to. We also had a Runick tier elements deck. Now, I'd seen this kind of starting to come up a little bit. I guess it didn't really take off in popularity, but one did top. We also had a Live Twin Runick Sprite, so I guess we're extending out the package a little bit. We had branded Despia. You know what? A clap for that. It's actually cool to see the pure branded in Despia. We're still able to kind of hold on and squeak on into that top cut there. We also had a Tri-Brigade Sprite. We had a Paleozoic tier elements. Holy crap. So we extended out the Paleozoic package a lot more for that deck, which, I mean, I guess is fine considering you're doing all the milling and everything. We also had a Sword Soul Tenyi in Top Cut. Oh yeah. You know, there's always going to be that one duelist that's always going to find fame and be able to make it work out here for Sword Soul. I'm not surprised. We also had an Exo-Sister player make it into Top Cut as well. But I mean, to be honest with you, just kind of looking at the scope of everything present here in the row category, a lot of tier elements hybrids, a lot of Runick combinations. I'm not surprised to see the rapid evolution that we're seeing here within, you know, these builds being combined, but it's very interesting here. And then as we go on down here, we also have our top 8 here. Now, top 8 was a little bit scary here. You had 50% of top 8 being Runick Sprite. That conversion rate is horrifying. We also had a Runick tier elements deck. So, yes, that Runick tier elements build held its way all the way through the course of top 8, or 2 top 8. One Live Twin Sprite held on as well. Pure tier elements held on, so you had 2 tier element combination decks in Top 8, and then you had one Exo-Sister squeak its way in. And then the rest is pretty much history. Is what the finals were: Runick Sprite versus Runick Sprite, and then Joshua Schmidt ended up taking down the event with Runick Sprite. So that means that Runick now officially has a win, and so does Sprite at this point in time, which is kind of a very interesting thought, I suppose, at the end of the day here, for what's actually happened in terms of this event so far. All right, we're going to pass on everything and take a look at some of these cool deck lists. All right, the first deck we're going to be looking at here was second place. Oh my gosh. You gotta love the cap shells and the Iprea infinite draw engine here this deck generates. You got the lava golems to condemn any sort of 2 monster combinations your opponent has. This is just an anti-meta powerhouse here. And yes, this is the first time that I've seen this deck actually care about playing multiple fountains. And you know what? This found its way all the way to second place, which, to be honest with you, is no bad feat. Of course, you're going to get there because your massive Runick package is just going to carry you, and then the rest of your, Sprite package are going to be massive facilitators just to basically be able to get to your cards. Also, Smash is amazing. Gigantic Sprite, oh gosh, if it's doubled, you can actually eradicate it. That's hilarious. Man, this deck actually just gets all of the massive good love just because of the combinations and things that you can do with this deck. Isn't that what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Absolutely amazing? Next up here was our top 4 for Evil Twin. Now, okay, Fiend. This Cyverse, yeah, honestly, all of what you really care about here is just the Link 2 packages, Also, Mannequin Cat was actually starting to see play this weekend. I want to give a shout out to this card. I haven't seen Mannequin Cat show up and get the chance to do anything in quite some time, and we're finally here. Also, you have the mini little OTK enabler that you're like, oh, I can just search for this. You put up a whole field of Link 2s, rank 2, you can go to town for no reason. The big reason why this deck is able to do good, though, is because your whole package on the sub end here is all just facilitating extra level 2s and Link 2s for you to be able to climb up and do your thing. Super busted, by the way, in terms of what this deck can do. But yeah, glad to see some good combinations there. Exo Sister. Now, this was top 8. We only had, a 13-card side deck for this, and we're actually playing Zoroa. I have not seen Zoroa in forever, man. I know the Magister stuff for this deck was actually pretty cool. There were little interactions that you could do with this that were really cool. You also get access to, I guess, this, which is actually kind of cool. While this card's equipped, you get 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. It's 1800, sure. And then, what else do you get? You can detach material from this card, target a level 4 or higher spellcast monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Oh, okay, so we get recurability. Alright, sure. I'll take that. But outside of that, you already know why this deck is good. This card right here, it's a hard carry. Anytime your opponent tries to interrupt or, engage with their graveyard in order to kind of make, a push to try to capitalize and win the game, these cards right here allow you to stay in the game and make those big advantage plays to punish your opponent, all right? Next up here, we have, oh boy, yes. This is a Scareclaw deck. You see Vice of Starfrost extension plays in here. And of course, you're just kind of taking a little bit more advantage of your abilities to, I guess, incorporate the Scareclaw package into tier elements. Now, you still do have the adventure package in here. This is one of the only builds that I've seen in a long time that really give 2 craps about extending out with the adventure package, at least in terms of tier. All right, 95% of the time it was Sprite that was doing this, but yeah, for now, I do think it is kind of nice to see this. But honestly, in terms of what this deck's doing, 57 cards? Talk about just a monster pile of outs that you'll be able to do. Tech choices all aside, putting in the Scareclaw package, making it all the way to, as far as they did in the tournament, that's definitely quite an impressive feat in and in itself. So I definitely, once again, I like what this deck is bringing to the table here. Next up here is, okay, tier elements with the Thurion package. I'd seen this very, very early on, and it just kind of disappeared out of the woodwork. It never really had any conversion rates for regionals or anything like that, but all of a sudden out of this weekend, you just kind of look back and you're like, what? Yeah, Darling Cobra and, Orthoscorpio make amazing cards. I heard Searching for Your One Of is absolutely amazing. And we're actually playing Empress Elysia. Oh my gosh. Target a 3 on a reptile in your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. Okay. What else do you actually do? Discard 1, target a 3 on monster card. In your spell and trap card zone and special summon. Oh my gosh. That's going to allow you to pressure your opponent so hard. All right, and then you get a 700 boost when equipped. All right, sure, that's seems good enough to me. Honestly, though, this is kind of scary. Too bad it didn't get further. I would have loved. I do want to see this deck kind of shine a little bit more. And last but not least was a Medolce deck that went 9-3. We're actually siding the Butler. I mean, okay, it's not every day that you see interesting little things. I mean, it just adds any normal field spell, right? Oh, cool. So we get to the Secret Village. Well, that's cute. It's a spellcaster, too. We're also main decking the Dimensional Fissure. We're playing the Prosperity instead of the Extract. I know a lot of the other builds are trying to, try go down other paths, but that's fine. And the Herald of Orange Light allows you to kind of play the game and do what you want. Well, that's your breakdown out of Utrecht this weekend. So what do you think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.